part because I think I understand that. I'm talking about
across all the channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, for everybody that comes in on your channel, you get a view for them. And for anybody that comes in on my channel, I get a view for them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, why don't you check your channel, see what is done. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Plant-Based Homestead Prepper, where we make prepping fun. And we just sitting here talking about these YouTube channels. And I know y'all heard some of that conversation, which is fine.
Because they nosy.
Y'all nosy? Oh, y'all nosy?
Rude.
Oh, my goodness. Jennifer said y'all is nosy. I know y'all not nosy. Look at the, hand me that box over there, Jennifer. Hand me that box right there. This is strictly for you. This is strictly for you, Luck of the Irish. Look at him. I went and bought me a $5.18 box of doggone Lucky Charms today. Magically delicious. And I ate a bowl a while ago. And you know what? I gotta give it to who makes this? Kellogg? Oh, General Mills. I gotta give it to General Mills. Several things. What is that?
Your fork that you put back in the thing.
Okay. Well, I apologize. Thank you. I am live right now. I gotta give it to General Mills because I haven't had these things since I was I was gonna say kid. I was probably 19, 20 years old when I first got into the Navy. And these things taste just like they did. Good Lord, what's that? 15, 20 years ago? Taste just like they did from what I remember. Okay? Because a lot of things that I've eaten and tried when I was an adult. And then in marshmallows and stuff, yeah, I don't pick out the marshmallows and I just eat the cereal. I really like the cereal portion and I like the little marshmallow. I didn't realize it, but I like the little hard marshmallows too. All right, so let's go to the chat. Man, I've been so excited all week to talk to you guys about this subject. So congratulations to Queenie tonight. Queenie was number 1 in the chat. Congratulations, Queenie. All right. She beat Knife Collector. Yep. In after Queenie and HBHP. What is HBHP? I know. I'm just messing around. Plant-based homestead prep. I got you. I know. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. Let's see here. I'm just messing with the type like collector. I know what you meant. All right. Look at Irish says, yo. And my first note, look at Irish, you were like 5th. Tara's in. Queenie said, nope. Hello, Queenie Night Collector, Roger, Jennifer, and Look at the Irish. Hello, Christina.
Hey, people.
All right, let's see here. Hello, Christina. Is there marshmallows left? Yeah, I had plenty of marshmallows. Tahanga, hello, welcome. We've been missing you. In the 4th, Texan finally here. Dang, I'm 5th. No, you like 6 or 7.
Dang.
No, this is Linda. Linda came in and said, am I 4th or 5th or whatever. Anyway, guys, look, I have been so excited about talking about this episode all week. So let's recap. Oh gosh. we have a house guest, and for those that caught the live an hour or so ago, you guys met TLC. Yep, Tasha from our Christmas party. She came home with us. She's going to be staying with us a few days. I'm trying to convince her to stay longer because we absolutely love her. Oh, there she is right there. Just talking about you.
What I do now?
I was just talking about how amazing you are. How much I love you.
I love you too.
Yes. What you about to do?
Go watch Hulu.
Okay. You going to bed? You just going to be up?
No, I'll be up.
All right. I'll holler at you when I get finished.
Yeah.
That's my baby right there, y'all. So let's recap. Oh God. It's gonna be like that every time this girl walks around the house. They are gonna go crazy. I gotta get it in my head that we have a house guest because that's the way they act. Anytime we have a visitor, they go crazy. All right, so season one, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just recap a little bit. And I don't have my notes tonight because normally we do this in the morning, and I'm at the church, and all my notes for all the previous episodes are at the church. So here we go. Let me see. We started out with six volunteers. They were kept up for 30 hours. Okay. And what they had to do once that was over, they had 15 minutes to go into a department store type thing and basically loot some items that they thought they would need. Well, after 10 minutes of being in there, they released what they call the Marauders, okay, to come in and steal the things that they had looted from the department store. So of course they had to, they had to defend what they had stolen. Then they had an 8-mile trek down a river, the LA River, to what is called a sanctuary, which is a 40,000 square foot warehouse on a 3-acre plot of land. So, what happened after that? Let's see here. Day one, I think they figured out water. They were able to, of course, they had food. They had great air quality. They had somewhere to live. What else did they do? They did several things on day 1, 2, and 3. So the first week, they concentrated on doing, electricity, power, basically. And they worked on this thing called a gasifier. How many of you guys remember the gasifier? Well, they had some challenges with the gasifier. They finally got it up and running. And from that, what's that, cookie butter? Mm-hmm. No, Tasha, don't do it to yourself. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Don't do it to yourself. Be careful. You eat a whole jar of it. So they finally got the gasifier work, and the gasifier takes wood and turns wood into gas, and you can actually run small machinery from that gasifier. You know what? Let's see here. You guys are talking. Tahonka, no, honey, you wasn't first tonight. Let's see here. Really excited about the review of this episode. Me too, Christina. That was weird timing. Sorry, I missed the live. No problem, Queen. You can always go back and watch it. It was good. Okay, y'all not gonna be able to distract me because y'all messing with me now. It's amazing how I'm here and everybody congregate within 4 foot of my space. We got a whole mansion like outside of this room, and everybody, all them and all the dogs are like right here. And y'all hear my so it's all good. Marshmallows are great for SHTF, long shelf life, easy to carry, has multiple uses, i.e. pillow, earplugs, bunion pads. I didn't know about the bunion pad. And they're lightweight. Okay. Wood gasifier powered cars for the exit. Okay. That's what they're going to start working on. So that kind of brings us up to speed to episode 5, which I was so excited about watching. I watched it again today. I watched it actually this morning while we were driving. We watched episode 1, 2, and 3. We were able to get those in during the ride. And it's funny because Jennifer was like, I don't want to watch this. I was like, well, let's just listen to it, as we ride, driving actually. And and she was picking apart. And that's what I love about coming in and we watching it, and then we pick apart the episode, because it's a lot of things for us to learn. And it's a lot of things for us to learn that they could have done better. And I'm sure you guys agree with that. All right, so here we go. Season 1, episode 5. It starts out, the first question that I want to talk about is this generator. So the last episode, they had Joe the Trader to come through. They traded a jackhammer, and last week we talked about how we gave away a jackhammer and a air compressor for a generator. In my opinion, they gave away too much. I think they could have done one item for the generator and the gas, especially like the jackhammer. They should have traded the jackhammer for the generator and the gas. They should have traded the air compressor for like several other items. I think they could have done that, and I believe Joe the Trader would have done it. I think it was poor negotiations on Joey's part. And I went back and I watched that episode earlier in the week, and Allison and Leilani were correct. If we sent the 2 hottest heads out to do negotiations for the whole entire group. I think you should have had Joey, and I think they probably should have sent somebody like Vladimir or Leilani out to help with negotiations. However, they chose, they allowed Joey to step up as head of security, chief of security. So because they allowed that, anytime any kind of security threats or challenges come up, then Joey is the man. So Mike started up this generator, and did you guys notice that with this generator, he had already expelled. They didn't have but 5 gallons of gas, and he was still troubleshooting this generator. He had already expelled and expended 1 full gallon of their precious gas trying to troubleshoot what was wrong with the generator when all he had to do was just crank up the RPMs. Did you guys notice that? They have a serious problem with the ability to negotiate. I mean, I was really mad about how they just kept doing it. I mean, I was upset with it too because I'm like, what are you guys thinking? And then they allowed you see, anytime you sit back and you even let somebody go and do it themselves, they allow and Jennifer and I went back and we watched episode 3 today, which is the episode when they went and got the oranges. So in my opinion, and Jennifer agreed with me and we agreed to this, I believe that they should be going out every day at different times. You know, maybe like one day they go out there at dawn to go get water, and then maybe the next day they go out and they get water at noontime. Then the next day maybe they might go out at like 3 p.m. or somewhere there, and keep their water reserves filled. Also, I believe 2 ways. I believe it was great for them to get all the oranges they got when they did, but I also think that they probably should have set up some kind of little scouting unit so that they can go out every day, at least every other day, to scout the area around them and figure out where food sources might be. They're in California. There got to be more citrus trees, fruit trees in California than that one orange tree that they found. Got to. So we talked about that today. And I believe they should be going back to that orange tree and getting more oranges. All right. All right. So let's see here. Queenie said, I finally watched it. It had me on edge. Haven't I been telling you guys this episode is going to have y'all on edge the whole episode? I don't think they should open the gate for trading. Like they should have a window or something that is protected. Well, if you don't open the gate, how do you securely get your items off the truck into your yard? And I don't know. I mean, I didn't really see a problem with them opening the gate for Joe the Trader. I just think they should have some more things out. I agree with that too, Christine. That's a great point. I believe that, like I told you guys a couple weeks ago, they should have a perimeter outside of their perimeter that makes it hard to get through. Even with Joe the Trader, I didn't really see a problem with them bringing him in. I mean, the guy had guns on the truck. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to do some damage and do some harm, he could have shot his way in. So that's how I feel about that. And I believe that, especially in this experiment, there are going to be some risk and some rewards. There are going to be some things that are going to be worth the risk. There are going to be some things that are not going to be worth the risk. Night Collector says, I can't believe that he didn't know that a generator was designed to run at 1 speed. That is why they have a governor. Yeah, I was really surprised about that with Mike too. As smart as he is with mechanics and machinery, I was really surprised that John C. had to come over there and help him with that. And I think his ego probably got in the way because as soon as he tried to use it, he probably should have gone to some of the engineers. But see, you got to remember, Mike's a hothead, and he's already pretty much pissed off all the engineers in the group. He pissed off Morgan, Vladimir. John C. is such an easygoing guy that he even said I think it was in the episode 2 or 3. He was like, Mike's a good guy, and a lot of things that he say is true. He's like, his delivery when he's talking is just not the best. So even John C. gives him his props on what he does. But I think his ego got a little ahead of him, or the best of him, with that generator thing, because he should not have wasted that much gas. As soon as he started that thing up and it wasn't running, he should have gone to somebody else. And see, like, I do that at my job sometimes. It can be some simple things, like I'll be troubleshooting some electrical sometimes, and I've done it I ain't gonna say a million times, but I've done it several times to know. And I'm like, golly, I'm testing this, and I know this is not reading absolutely the way it should be. And sometimes just having somebody with an extra set of eyes just to look at it and look at the reading and then just give you an idea. Sometimes it just clicks like that. So maybe he was having a bad day, maybe his ego was getting to him. But yeah, I was really surprised too, Knife Collector, that he didn't know that he needed to crank up the RPMs. I was very surprised. So how do you guys feel about that generator thing? Do y'all think that it was a good trade? How do you feel about Mike not being able to work the generator properly? And also, what do you think about him wasting so much gas trying to figure it out? So you guys answer that one. And then we're going to go to solar panels. Let's talk about solar panels, because that's another thing that came out in this episode. How would you guys have gone out and gotten the solar panels? Would you have done it the same way they did it? Would you have done it a different way? Also, I'm gonna start asking you guys the questions up front, because I know that the chat is really slow on my end. So I'm gonna start asking you guys a question. Also, start thinking about what John C. did with that. Golly, I forgot what it was called, but he had a light sensor where the panels could all move at the same time, the same way. I thought that was ingenious. I thought that was absolutely amazing, because had it been me, I'd have been able to mount those those solar panels, and I might have even thought about the swivel, but somebody would have had to go out there, every 30, 40 minutes and turn them things. Or you put them where they're gonna get sun most of the day, and that would have been it. I thought it was amazing that John C. came up with some kind of thing where he was like, I was like, oh my goodness. But I told you guys like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, hey, John C. is going to be he's going to prove to be worth his weight in gold. And I told you guys that, because I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, that guy's amazing. So let's get to solar panels. Would you guys have would you have split the group up the way that they did? Because in one group you had Joey, I want to say it was Leilani and maybe Vlad. And then in another group you had Mike, John V, I want to say Dr. George went, and somebody else. You had 7 people out going to get solar panels at the same time. The question I have for you guys, would you have done it the same way? Because you sent 7 people out and you had 3 people left back. So the only 3 people that were left back was John C. And I think Allison was left behind, and probably Amy, because we don't see, Amy goes missing in action so often. Have y'all noticed that she had one little speaking point in this episode, and that's when they brought in Andre and Elizabeth, and she was like, well, I just put myself in their place because I was just so happy to get a roof over my head and blah, 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 blah. And that's all we heard from Amy this episode. Are you guys are y'all with me? Because I'm talking and asking questions, and nobody's coming in the chat. So maybe I'm not. Let me make sure I am actually being heard, because I'm not sure. Let's see here. All right. Okay. So Mike said that. And he said Mike said he didn't want help on it. You always want help because you will miss things a lot of time. True. They did a great job with the solar panels. True. You can make a Freon fill frame that will do about the same as well. Okay, cool. This should have been one group to make both trips. Night Collector, you and I, we be on it. I thought, for security reasons, I really thought that you probably should have sent out, or it would have taken longer, but I believe that the first group should have gone out, okay? And that should have been, and with editing, we don't know if they all left at the same time or not, but it appears that they all left and went out. And the first group with Joey, they came back really quick because they just had to roll theirs. And Mike and his crew, and see, we don't know. We don't know for certain that they did not go out at the same time. They could have sent Joey and his crew out, and then they came back. And then when they were safe and secure, they could have sent Mike's group out. And then they came back and everybody's safe and secure. But the way it was edited, it looks like to me that everybody would at the same time. The question I have for you guys: how would you have done it? Would you have done it where you sent 7 people out, 3 people to protect the house, or would you have done it like Night Collector said and sent out one group at a time, go pick up stuff, and then come back? What do you guys think? Okay, let's see. I'm trying to balance my checkbook. I just went to the store to spend a lot of money, but I got a lot of prep. So with dollar store, okay, well, good for you, Linda Bishop. I don't think it was enough people at home to protect it. Queenie, I believe you're absolutely right. Nowhere in the world am I going to send out that many people and then have 3 people back to protect the house. Can't do it. Can you imagine if those 2 people came in while everyone was gone? Great point, Christina. For sure, Christina. That's what I was thinking, Christina. Yes. I mean, I play a lot of chess, and I've played a ton of chess in my past. The name of the game in chess is to never allow your king to be captured, or never allow your kingdom to be infiltrated to the point where you can't go anywhere, or basically captured. And I believe that they leave. I think they leave their home base open far too often. Um, for example, Joey and maybe John V. They could have made, even if it took them 2 or 3 trips, they could have made the trip to go get the solar panels and roll them back. If you did that, you got 2 people out basically at risk. You got 8 people working, securing the home front. Even if it took them a whole day to do that, back and forth, and then see those two while they're out, it's very possible they could have set the fish trap while they were out. They could have gathered some fruit while they were out, grabbed the solar panels, scouted out some things that were out there, come back, bring the solar panels out, go back, check the fish trap, grab some more fruit, roll those solar panels back, and if you have to make a third trip, go back, check the fish trap, grab some more fruit, bring the solar panels back, grab the fish trap, whether you got fish or not, come on back, take a breather, and then Mike and maybe let's say John V and George, because that was a bigger job. Um, and I agree with 4 people going because they had the bigger job and they had more to do. But even if you sent 3 people, okay, they could have gone, taken everything down. You still got 7 people back protecting the keep, okay, and protecting the home front. So I agree with you guys. Nowhere in the world I would have sent that many people out. That's just that's my personal opinion. Um, John C. making those solar panels move the way he did. That was that. How many people were impressed with that? How many people were amazed by that? How many people would have known to do that? How many people even have the knowledge to even think that was even possible? Because up until this, when I first watched the show, I was like, man, I didn't even know. Excuse me, I didn't even know that there was a way to even do that. I mean, tracking the sun and making those solar panels move. I thought that was absolutely amazing. What do you guys think about that? And I'm gonna pause for a minute and see what you guys are saying. All right, it's we are really the texts are not coming in like I thought they would. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go to the next one then. John V and his washing machine. John V and his washing machine. I thought that was pretty genius too. I mean, use a bicycle to power a washing machine. I mean, literally, you can put um, you can put your clothes in there, throw your little laundry soap or whatever. You ride the bike for 30 seconds, your clothes are washed. Pour that gray water out. Throw your rinse cycle in there. Boom. Do it 30 or 40 more seconds. It sure the heck beats because that's what they was doing before. They had taken a washboard basically and they were washing their clothes by hand. So, how many of you guys notice that? Because I thought that was absolutely amazing. All right, let's see. And that's what I was thinking, Christina. You should have people trained in certain operations. People need to know how to scavenge to protect yourself, how to hide, how to transport items, street smarts, not just random people scavenging. Night Collector, you're always right, brother. I love the washing machine invention. Yes, I did too. And I agree with you, Night Collector. I like the aspect of Leilani and her gym because I need to clean my glasses, y'all. I apologize. I like the idea of Leilani and her gym because, a lot of these folks have never been in a fist fight. You guys got to understand, none of these people are preppers. These are average, everyday Joes. And they're doing the best they can with the situation they've been thrown into. Now, granted, yeah, they volunteered for it. But remember, none of these people are preppers. And we're able to sit from the comfort of our abode and pick apart. We're armchair quarterbacking every move that they made, 10 years ago with people who were novice at preppers. They didn't know anything about prepping. None of them, nothing. At no time does it ever say this person, it was a machinist and a prepper. This person was a doctor and a prepper. This person was this and a prepper. At no time does it ever say that. So keep that in your mind. Okay, keep that in your mind. All right, so we all agreed that the washing machine was amazing. Let's see here. Okay, now this is when the show turns and we start really getting on edge. And that is when Andre and Elizabeth just walk right in. How many of you guys were like, why didn't you have something over that door anyway? How many of you guys, when those folks walked in, because up until that point, we didn't, us, the viewer, we didn't know anything about the door. How many of you guys thought about this when he was talking about I had a key to this door? How many of you guys thought that door should have been secured, even if it had a lock on it that could be opened from the outside? How many of you guys thought that? We're able to learn a lot as a group from their group. I agree, Christina. I totally agree. I would have taken the key right away from them and would have had a freaking fit. Okay, I mean, we're going to spend a lot of time on this Andre and Elizabeth situation. And I've been trying to just get through the first part of it so we can get here because this is the major, in my opinion. Okay, I thought that Night Collector, I thought they had secured all the areas too. Because if I was in charge of security, that would have been something that you wouldn't have been able to walk into just walking into it. If we have a door that can only be opened if you have a key, then something would have dawned on me and be like, wait a minute. You can open it from the outside. We can't open it from the inside. Well, this sucker shut, because right in that instance, it's a wall to me. It's not a door. It's not an access point or an exit. To me, it's a wall. And I'm like Knife Collector. I thought they had secured all doors and all windows. Apparently, they didn't. That was somewhere else that they failed. And how would you feel? And I'm gonna throw you guys a couple of curves. How would you feel? You've taken over this place, you've made it your home, and then somebody just walks up in there after 6 weeks of being gone during an event that is a catastrophic WROL event. How would you guys feel about that? Okay, and I'm gonna wait for an answer on this one. Okay, and give you guys some stats. Andre was he was about 6'5", 6'5", 260 pounds. This dude was a big guy. I'm talking. Did y'all see his arms? His arms were freaking huge. I mean, amazing. And he wasn't a fat guy. He was in shape. And he had the attitude to go with it. Okay, we're gonna talk about that attitude here in a minute. And then he was traveling with this young lady named Elizabeth, who seemed like she might have been an Asian American. Of the smaller frame size, and she was kind of spicy herself. Okay, and I'm gonna throw you guys some curves because Number one, how did you feel about them walking in, having a key, and with the air of, this is my house, this is our house? How did you guys feel about that off the bat? Okay. I ain't their place no more. It ain't their place no more. They all fall and you kick their knees no matter how big. I'm torn. Okay, Night Collector, I wish you hadn't said it because that was gonna be my next point. How would you feel if you left to check things out, come back and someone moved in your home and said it was there? That's my point right there. Because I keep telling you guys that the volunteers, they are the marauders. Okay? See, editing has us thinking that the volunteers are just volunteers. But remember, they went into the warehouse, they stole goods, the marauders came in to take them back. How do we know that the marauders weren't in the okay, let's just say, because see, for the sake of argument, let's say that department store that they went into, let's say that was somebody living in there and that was their stuff. And they just busted in and they started stealing. How do we not know that the marauders, as we call marauders, how do we know that the marauders didn't follow them those 8 miles and they're like, you know what, we're going to get them back because they attacked us down here? How do you not know that? Or how I just want to give you guys a perspective, because what if instead of season 1, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, what if this is really season 3, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? And the folks that we're watching right now are intruding on somebody else's life. How do we know that Andre and Elizabeth are not part of the Colony season 2? How do we not know that the Marauders are not the Colony season 1? Just because something says, the Colony season 1, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're following these people, that does not necessarily mean this is the start of the story. Keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's check out chat. All right, so Night Collector said, I'm torn. How would you feel? And that was my point exactly. I mean, if that is the truth and you use your key, first of all, you're gonna notice some things have changed outside, because you see solar panels, you see gasifier. You might not even know what all any of that stuff is. You just know that you didn't leave it that way, and you're like, dang, somebody's in here because they moved this truck. Somebody's in here because they got this machine out here that's blowing off all this steam and smoke. Wow, somebody's in here because they got solar panels up. So you're already on the edge because you're coming back to your home and somebody's in there. You don't know if they're going to be friendly. You don't know if they're going to be foe. You have no clue. And like a point I just made, you also don't know. We also don't know if Andre and Elizabeth were part of an experiment that was in a previous season. And that truly is their place that they came back to 6 weeks from now. How do we not know that Andre and Elizabeth left the sanctuary because they had a broadcast that came over the television that said, hey, if you're in this zone and in this area, you need to get out right now. We don't know that. All right. So Christina says, during the catastrophic event, the rules change. I agree with that. Okay. However, how would you feel if you left and you came back home and somebody was in your spot? All right. You think it won't happen? I know it will. They need to be neutralized as soon as possible, even if you had to put some on knockout pills in their tea or something to make nice with him. Don't let him know it's coming, and then when they're okay, we'll catch that up. You have to expect fights if you break in too, both ways. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna reread this, and I'm gonna go to it, Linda. All right, coming, and then when they're knocked out, heat up, I'm up, and you. Oh, you control. Okay, I'm having a hard time reading this. And remember, guys, start getting in the habit, please, of doing one-liners for me. And even if you're texting a huge paragraph, it's so much easier, and especially when I'm live and I'm on the road. But do one liners for me, okay? Y'all do that for me, okay, please. All right, yeah, the show Survivor. I had a lot of sneaky stuff they were doing to Mike, bringing him back. They got voted off. Okay, gotcha. So Linda thinks as soon as they came in, you should attack them, give them something in their food and water, knock them out. What if you put too much knockout potion in their drink and you can't wake them up? What if you don't give them enough and they get drowsy to the point where they are hearing everything you're saying? Because I mean, you can be out but not be out. So I'm not sure if that was the right, and I'm not sure if that's the right course of action. I have mixed emotions about it. Okay, because I feel like I'm part of these people's team, the volunteers, and for somebody to just roll up in there, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm playing kind of devil's advocate here. In my opinion, um, and Andre truly played his part right. He's supposed to come in, he's supposed to challenge them, he's supposed to do what he did. If I had somebody that came up in a place I had been at for 8 weeks and I've done all this stuff, I like what Dr. George said, and I want this to be a lesson learned for us. I really like what Dr. George said, and he said, you know what? We got two new people here. We've been very kind to them. We've been very courteous. We've given them our food, given them our water, and they're trying out for the team. But they're not, in my opinion, in his opinion, they weren't making the team. I think that is a great, and see, these are things that we got to decide now. Number one, are you going to one, take on people, or are you going to turn them away? And then two, if you take them on, at what part of the access are you going to give them? I thought that Joey, being the head of security, I thought he did a grand tour far too early. My opinion in that case, hey, you came back, you good. All right, I'll tell you what, let's do this. If you're gonna sleep up in the loft or whatever, that's your area. We have taken all this. Okay, this is ours. We will give you your area up here. You're more than welcome to abide by our rules, abide by our laws. If you feel like that, part of this food, since they were there, and part of that food was theirs. If you feel like that, some of this food is yours, then this is what we can do. We can give you some of this food. You guys can live over here, totally separate from us, or we can coexist. But if you coexist with us, these are the rules, and this is what you have to abide by, and there's no deviation. I thought it was stupid, and I hate using that word, but I thought it was stupid for them to allow Elizabeth shower time. Does anybody else feel that way? All right, then we're gonna go to chat. Yeah, the show Survivor had a lot of stuff. Okay, so we talked about that. The Outer Creek doesn't understand my southern accent. It changes and misinterprets what I say. I get that all the time. My view is, don't look at the colony as good guys. Thank you, Night Collector, because they're not good guys. They're marauders, and they are stealing stuff, and they are doing what they have to do to survive. Don't look at them as the good guy and look at the marauders and everybody else as the bad guy. These are all people trying to survive. Thank you, Night Collector. Great point. I would take them in only depending on what they can add to the group. I would not help anyone. I would trust very few coming around. All right, so the question still is standing. If you leave out, you lock up your house, okay? And then when you come back, somebody's living in your house. Somebody's living in your house. They've been there, 2 days, 5 days, 6 weeks. What is going to be your attitude when you get into your house? Okay, so I mean, I agree with Andre. If I leave out tomorrow to go to church, and I come up in here, and somebody's sitting on my sofa right here using my laptop, and I don't know them. First of all, nobody has keys in my house. But let's just say somebody I walk up in here, I'm gonna be like, "Who are you?" And they'll be like, "Well, who are you? This is my house." No, this is my house. You know, and they're like, "Well, 3 years ago, before you bought this house, blah 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 blah." Now, that's a little bit different in law-abiding times, but if it was grid down and that happened, what kind of attitude are you gonna have? And then they're like, "Oh yeah, well, what happened to my food? Oh, we got some food." What you mean you got some food? I left plenty of food here. What about water? Oh, we got some water. Okay, well, good. That's not a prep I really focus on. Well, what about this? Oh yeah, we've changed that. What about that? Oh yeah, we changed that. We're gonna get this old truck running. What you mean you're gonna get this old truck running? How would your attitude be? That's all I'm asking. Too bad. This my house. The producers won't let you kill them. Surely. Okay. The building was big enough for such few people. The building was too big for such few people. I think it was too big for them to secure because they didn't focus on that. But I'm not gonna say it was too big. It was too big for that few amount of people. It isn't about one person. It isn't a regular day. I agree. I agree with you, Christina. All is fair in war. Is this really war though? Okay. Is this really war? What could the colonists have done to cause Andre to be a little less on edge? Because this dude came with an attitude, and I can understand why. And especially when somebody feels a certain way, I say this all the time: perception is reality to he who perceives. So if he perceived that place to be his own, now I want you to forget about all the editing, because they were like, "Yeah, we've been briefing Andre and Elizabeth on for 6 weeks what they've been doing." But I want you to forget that. I want you to put your shoes into that dude. Something happens right there, the lights go out, bam, you lock up your front door. And when you come back, somebody's living in your house. What are you going to do? If you were Andre in that circumstance, in that situation, what would you do? And you're Andre, okay? All right, let's see here. Okay, if someone is in my house and I didn't welcome them, they are leaving out by the spirit of the next. The fight is still alive every day. While they will protect themselves, seem like something is afoot. You're funny, Queen. What did Miss Queen say? Okay, she said it's too big. Yeah, I mean, and I keep saying that I believe they need to stop sleeping in places where they can't just get up and fight, So that's just me saying. Hey, Clint Eastwood, how are you? Somebody's in my house and didn't welcome. They're leaving out by the spirit. Okay, I got it now. Fight still alive. Expect themselves seem like they're foot. If you want a group, don't have more than resources that can support. That's true. That's a good one, Night Collector. If members are limited, only those with skills need to be allowed. Yeah, that's gonna be tough right there. You got it right, Queenie. Yeah, I agree with you, Queenie. I got a jet, y'all. Oh my love. All right, thank you, Christine. We're not gonna be on much longer. We've been running like 44 minutes. So let's continue on. Still got a whole page of notes, man. Allison. Okay, Allison finally poked her head up in this episode. Allison is the nurse. She's blonde. She normally is, making clothes so she can run around and look real pretty, which is fine. Hey, some people need to do that. Oh. Okay, I'll tell him come back to that. Okay, so dinner that night with Andre and Elizabeth, he said he was gonna stay as long as he wants. Okay. Which if I'm a colonist, I take that as a threat. And then Elizabeth said, "You guys are gonna play God, even with all the death outside." I thought this was amazing. I thought this was an amazing question. Elizabeth asked the group at dinner. She said, "So you can tell me with death outside these doors, are you going to play God and tell people who can and who cannot stay?" Thought that was amazing, and I think that's a question that you should be asking yourself. Outside of these doors, yes, I have enough of what I need, have a few, several things that I want, but outside of these doors, what are we going to do if and when somebody bangs on this door and asks us for some help? Those are questions that you got to answer for yourself and your family right now. All right, bye, Christina. Hi, Clint. Bye, Christina. Christina, you have a good night. Okay? So, question you got to ask you for yourself now. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about this Elizabeth shower. And I kind of opened it up a little bit earlier. I'm gonna tell y'all something. If I'm first and foremost, okay, you are an outsider. You've been gone 6 weeks. Okay, we drank your booze. Here's your money back. And I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but they limit the shower time. I think they said the 2 colonists a day at 1 minute showers each. If memory serves me correct, 2 goes into 10 5 times. That means those folks are only taking a shower once every 5 days, and they're limiting their self to the water at 1 minute, which might take 2-3 minutes time. But I thought, anyway, I just thought that was crazy. Okay, that they allowed Elizabeth to drain their entire shower of all the water. Did anybody else think that was crazy? Why didn't they go in there and be like, Elizabeth, your shower time is up, okay? And we need you to lug this heavy daggone water up here on the roof and fill that tank back up. But see, that goes back when you have Joey appointing himself as chief of security or head of security, and there are no checks and balances. Y'all. It has been a long day. I've been up since like 4 this morning, so I apologize for yawning you guys' ear. Night Collector, I don't think any of us have even talked about children. What about babies? Babies can't do anything, but we can't leave them on up there. So somebody shows up. 1 kid, things to do. Okay. Let us say that's a great point. I'm not sure who in the group didn't want them, but Joey and his people were not original. True. And they're allowed in. How can they reject people? Very, very true. And Amy even says that in this episode. And she said something to the effect of, I know how happy I was to have a roof over my head the first night. So you're right. Joey, Leilani, Amy, and Vladimir were all outsiders, okay? They were all suspiciously marauders when they banged on that door. As a matter of fact, in episode 1, Mike is like, because Joey's like, I got to be honest with you, got a little pocket knife. And Mike's like, put it down right now, get down there. And then he was going to try to talk to those folks as they were sitting down like in Indian position, like they were kids. And he was going to be the big bad warden or whatever. So anyway, okay. What do you guys feel about Andre and Elizabeth going in there and they're going to write on the walls? And that was, and that's something that Morgan normally does. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good point. And then also we're gonna talk about the writing on the walls, and then we're gonna talk about the sparring session between Leilani and Andre. The sparring session between Leilani and Andre. So, let's see here. When Andre and Elizabeth were caught writing, writing on the walls and telling their story, when Leilani came in, and she's like, "Hey guys, what y'all doing?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we thought we'd put some stuff up here, telling about us." And Leilani's like, "Well, that's kind of Morgan's thing. I thought, and this is just me, me being a respectful individual. I really thought that it was, and I know Andre and Elizabeth were plants, so they could try to test the group. I thought it was extremely disrespectful. You guys know I'm big on respect. I thought it was extremely disrespectful for them to go in and start knocking and doing stuff on somebody else's work. Now, that's where I have to draw a line. And there was several times that they should have had this emergency meeting that they did not have until it was too late. And then while they're over there meeting, Allison is watching them and following them around. She's like, "No, I'm not gonna sit here and let them steal our stuff. They'll walk around the warehouse stealing stuff from them, putting them in their pockets, putting them wherever." So yep. I'm sorry. Um, I apologize. I was drifting off there for a minute. So they had this emergency meeting, and I wanna tip my hat to Allison this episode because Allison did her thing from get go. As soon as Andre and Elizabeth walked in, Allison's demeanor changed. She turned into like Mama Bear, okay, and it was to the point where she was talking about this intuition, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling good. Red flags everywhere." I think what we have seen and what we will continue to see is that survival is equal about your skill set, what you have, and who you know. Great point. All them mocha lattes. Great point. Um, excellent point. I'm gonna read it again. See what we're seeing, and continue to see that survival is equal about to your skills, what you have, and who you know. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. All right, so Allison really impressed me this go around. I thought she was a little prissy, just pretty girl, and just ran around and didn't have any backbone. But Allison, and she and Elizabeth, I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but she and Elizabeth were really fighting. Allison, and we keep hearing from these psychiatrists that the people that are in the experiment, they're perceiving this as reality. And when somebody threatens their reality, with their food, their security, with their water, whatever, that person's going to take it to heart like it's really happening. And I don't know if you got it, because Elizabeth got upset in real life. Allison got upset in real life. Andre definitely was upset because that dude started cursing. George, George more than Michael, because Michael was, he just tall. But George had one of those little stick things, and he was actually hitting Andre with it. I think at first he was jabbing, he was poking him, which couldn't have felt good. And, even when Dr. George had emptied out his bag, I don't know if y'all saw that but he grabbed Dr. George, he like pushed him. And that's when everything and everybody grabbed him. And, then it cuts to the edit where he's like, just give me some more cans. And they were like, "No, you're done. You're done here." So question I have for you is, who was the MVP of this episode? Who was the MVP of this episode? Okay, and I got two. I actually got two in mind. So who do you guys think? Who do you think was the MVP of this episode? And who do you also think, or whom do you also think should step up into a more leadership role now? Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a chance, the opportunity to answer. In the meantime, while we're waiting for an answer, remember Monday night. Monday night we're going to have Queenie here Monday night at 7 p.m. for our Let's Talk Live radio broadcast show. And I want you guys to come in and really support her because she's if not the first subscriber, she was definitely one of the first ones in the beginning, and she has agreed to come in and teach us Canon. Now, for those that already know, this will be a great refresher. Okay, in that situation, we have a group of people, so much food, water. It has to be loaded out per person per day. Somebody's got to watch it and take control over it and be trusted. That's true. I agree. Um, hmm. In that situation, when you have a group of people, so much food, water, it has been loaded out per person. Some days, gotta watch it and take control over the best trusted. All right, cool. I'm trying to look at my notes and see what else I have. All right, so after this blow up with Andre, and I thought at the point in time, I think the person who really stepped up into a leadership role in this one was Leilani. Leilani used some verbal judo on Andre, and she's like, "Look, this is Leilani talking to you. I haven't disrespected you one time. This guy hasn't disrespected. This guy hasn't disrespected you. So Leilani was serious. She's like, I'm not gonna deal with the disrespect. She said that in that last episode, and she meant it. So she's in there, minding her own business, I believe. And Andre's like, "Hey, you ready for a spar?" And I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but that sparring session, it got real. It got real quick too. Um, so in that fight, who did you have your money on? And I want y'all to be honest with me. And I knew for editing, I knew that Leilani was gonna win that. I mean, that just makes good TV. But if that was real life, who would you have your money on? I'm not sure who in the group didn't want them, but Joey and his people not original, they allowed it in. So can they reject people? I'm not sure. I can't even figure out how to reject some of the things on here sometimes. All right, let's see here. I think what we have seen and what we can see. Okay, so you said that already. We already talked that out. All right, good point. In that situation, when you have a group of people, so much food and water is loaded out person per day. Everybody gotta watch it and take control. Okay, so I guess we've caught up on all the chats. I think. Oh God. I think Mike did a pretty good job organizing the solar panel situation. Other than too many people going out, he was calmer and people listen to it. I agree with that. I mean, okay, so we have Mike as usual. Top contenders just for this episode: Mike, Allison. Let's see who else. Oh God, what you guys? Another thing, let them have so much water per day, and if they want to wash with it, then they don't get anything to drink. Ration their water. I'm good with that. I think Andre would have mopped the floor with Leilani. I think so too. I mean, I don't think that was a real fight. All he's got to do is get those big paws on them. People losing control, and their emotions wasn't good. That caused illness. He was on level 1 headed. That's funny. All right, Andre would have won a fight. He was holding back. Of course he was. He's like open hand, open hand. Oh, you hit me, open hand, open hand. And then now I'll tell you this, she made an amazing kick that put him on his butt. Basically, I think she stepped in toward him and reached that doggone jelly, reached that Boy Scout foot up there and placed it right in his face. So yeah, I think that's about all I have, guys. We've been right at an hour, and I am really starting to drift and fade, from fatigue. So hey, episode 5 was great. I'm looking so forward to episode 6, and hopefully you guys. Okay, I want you to do this in the comments when this thing is when this thing posts. I want you guys to vote for. I want you to type in who you think the MVP of this episode. Not now. I want you to do it in the post. Who do you think your MVP was and why? What did you think about the code that they wrote codes and bylaws down finally? What do you think about that? So those are your 2 assignments for this when it uploads. Who do you think the MVP was and why? And whatever the second one I just said. Look, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get me some rest. I am tired, super tired. I love y'all so much for being here. Thank you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, Michael showed leadership, even though he don't have his cigarettes and liquor. Good point, Queenie. All right, guys, look. Vote your MVP in the comment section when this posts, and we're gonna see you guys on tomorrow. I promise. Okay. All right, y'all be blessed.